Hi, my name is Sam. I'm from Georgetown, Texas. Uh, the purpose of this video is to announce my intention to thru-hike the Appalachian Trail in 2023, starting in March. This represents a return to the trail for me since I, along with my partner, attempted to thru-hike the trail last year. We started on March 10th at Springer. We got as far as Damascus when I came down with COVID. We had to leave the trail for about a month so I could recover, and then my partner got COVID, though she never showed any symptoms. It was about mid-June, the early part of June, before she was cleared to go back to the trail. At that point, we decided to flip up to Harper's Ferry and walk north to Katahdin, make it to Katahdin, then flip down and finish Virginia in September and October. We rented a car, drove from Austin up to Harper's Ferry, spent, I think, 2 days in Harper's Ferry seeing the sights. Great little town, a lot of history, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Like to go back someday. We finally started on the trail at mile 1025, hiked north through Maryland into Pennsylvania. We made it about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through Pennsylvania. And I had started to get some pain in the side of my right foot. Initially, I put it off to just bruising because I do hike in trail runners, and you don't get a lot of protection, at least along the sides of your feet in trail runners. Then one morning, and I'm not certain what mile we were at, probably 175, 180 in Pennsylvania, and that would be 1,180. I woke up that morning and the side of my face was swollen, and so we headed down to a roadway, called a shuttle, went to an emergency walk-in clinic. They x-rayed my foot. I had 2 broken bones in my foot and an abscess in my jaw. So we rented another car, drove back to Austin. I went to see my orthopedic surgeon. He told me that I didn't need to have it casted, but that I needed to stay off of it for 3 to 4 weeks. My dentist got me an antibiotic for the abscess. That went away after about 10 days. So by the time I was cleared to get back hiking and exercising, it was really too late to get back on the trail. So we decided to go out to California and backpack in the Sierra. We did a couple of backpacking trips, a lot of day hikes on the John Muir Trail and the PCT in that general area, generally between Mammoth and Tuolumne Meadows. We also did some hikes in Tuolumne Meadows. This was actually the 3rd year that we had tried to hike the AT and run into an issue. In 2020, we got all prepped for a thru-hike of the AT starting in, I think, the 3rd week of March. Hotel reservations at Amicalola, plane reservations, shuttle reservations, all the equipment, and COVID hit. So we canceled that and went out west and secured a permit to try to thru-hike the JMT, the John Muir Trail, from Glacier Point in Yosemite to Whitney. We got about halfway through the trail and the creek fire broke out. They closed the Inyo National Forest, and we were told, we ran into a ranger on the trail who told us we had to leave. We left the trail at Duck Pass, having completed maybe a little bit less than half the trail. So we then started to plan to do the AT in 2021. We figured, there's a vaccine out. Everybody taking the vaccine, the disease will be under control by 2021 and everything will open back up. Well, we were wrong. And if anything, 2021 was worse than 2020. The ATC had taken a position in 2021. Hey, no, you can't go. No bag tag, no hang tags, no 2,000 miler certificate. So we decided to go back out west. This time we couldn't secure a permit from Yosemite to hike south, so we flip-flopped on the JMT. We hiked from around Reds Meadow north to Yosemite Valley, got in a car, drove back, and then hiked south from Reds Meadow to Whitney. So we did the through-hike of that. And we started to plan for the AT in 2022. And you now know what happened to us in 2022, COVID, a broken foot, and an abscess. So we then decided we were going to do the AT as a through hike. We would start in Damascus, probably late, because that's as far as we got, probably in late March, and hike to Katahdin. And we're all geared to go. And then my hiking partner got invited to the wedding of a niece that she felt she had to go. And shortly after that, she had a graduation to go to for a grandson. So we decided that what would happen is she would go to the wedding, she would go to the graduation, we would leave for the trail at the end of May after the graduation, and start probably in Harper's Ferry, hike north, then come back and do Virginia in the fall. I then decided, you know what, I'm going to get back on the trail in March, start at Springer, hike as far as I can into May, go back for the graduation, come back with my hiking partner after the graduation, and start somewhere either in Virginia or Pennsylvania. So that's our game plan right now. I leave here, fly out of here on March 8th. I will then take the MARTA up to the REI. Ron Brown, who did our shuttle last year, will pick me up, take me to Amicalola. I will stay there for 2 nights and a day. On Thursday the 9th, I will go down, register, get my hang tag, probably do a day hike on the approach trail, because I'm not doing the approach trail this time because I've already done it. Friday morning, Ron will pick me up, drive me up to the Springer trailhead. I will hike south, the mile south to Springer, and then turn around and head north and see how far I get this time. Hopefully no COVID, no broken foot, no abscess. The trail, I have a really close connection to the trail. It's always been there for me. My first time on the trail was at the age of 6 at summer camp. We did a day hike on the trail, on a section of the trail in Connecticut. Not exactly certain where it was. It was somewhere in the vicinity of Bull's Bridge. But I remember seeing that old wooden sign with an arrow pointing south and saying Georgia, and an arrow pointing north and saying Maine. And I said, you know what? That sounds like it could be fun. That was 70 years ago. I'm 70, I will be 76 this year in June. I actually spent my 75th birthday on the trail last year in Pennsylvania at the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club cabin. There were some people doing trail magic, doing hot dogs and hamburgers. And when they found out it was my birthday, they somehow had a little cupcake and a candle, and they, lit it and sang happy birthday, and I got a root beer float out of it. So it was was a pretty neat birthday, maybe the best birthday I've ever had. Unfortunately, shortly after that, I broke my foot. So, um, so it's always been my dream to hike the trail. I've hiked a good portion of it, in addition to the, hiking from Springer to Damascus, and from Harper's Ferry to Midway, 3/4 of the way through Pennsylvania last year. I had done the Shenandoahs in 2017, and over the course of my adult life, I lived in Connecticut, maybe 40 miles from the trail, and I section hiking, day hiking, pretty much all of the trail in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. And the trail is, to me, just magic. Last year, we had a lot of issues, but we had a great time. The trail is hard, in my opinion. Having hiked the John Muir Trail once and a half times, it's much harder than the John Muir Trail. The John Muir Trail has much more elevation, obviously, but the trail itself is fairly wide and without a lot of obstructions. The AT has roots, mud, rocks, stumps, trees. It is what it is. There are a lot of ups and downs. In fact, you probably gain more elevation on the AT, excuse me, than you do on the John Muir Trail. So I think it's much harder of a trail, much more physically demanding than the John Muir Trail. But we had a great time. We met a lot of interesting people. We got our trail names at Chica and Sunset's Hostel in Franklin. My hiking partner got her name first. Her name was Robin. And then somebody piped up and said, well, if she's Robin, you have to be Batman. So we became Robin and Batman on the trail. And while we weren't always fast, we were persistent. So by the end of the trail, we were doing, 14, 15 miles a day, our end of the trail. And we just had a great time. It was, like I said, it was tough. The weather wasn't always cooperative, but we enjoyed ourselves. It was a magical time. I'm looking forward to going back. Can't wait. I'm getting down to the point where I'm almost 30 days to go. I'll leave here on the 8th. Fly, I think I might have already said this, fly to Atlanta. And I'm just counting the days. I will probably do a few more videos before I leave with my clothing, my big three, my equipment, my food choices, and some other comments and suggestions I have for you all, since I've already done at least a portion of the trail. With that being said, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it if you would subscribe, and hopefully I will see some of you on the trail in March, April, and May. Take care now.